Okay, so round four. Um, Still steaming a little bit over the mana hosing, double wasteland. Couldn't get there. A little frustrated. But still, chance to money. I'm matched up against Cronin. Um, Cronin is playing blue control, which I actually feel is probably among my better matchups here. Get to play, so everything seems to be looking up. So there we go. Got a good keepable hand. Possible turn one metal worker or Thorn of Amethyst. I end up going for the metal worker here. Really, just the thought process was to try to pull out a Force of Will. Since I really don't have any gas for the metal worker. But the Soul Ring gets metal misstepped. So that ends that turn pretty quickly. His turn one, fetch to the pedal, Triskelion in hand. Suddenly I have gas for the metal worker. But playing a little more tentatively here. Throw down the Thorn. And go ahead and pass the turn. Save myself to 2 damage. I don't know. Maybe should have played more aggressively with the metal worker and planned to cast Triskelion next turn. But, a little leery of rushing headlong into plays like that. So he just drops an island, nothing else. 5 in hand, I get into the strip mine. So I'm going to go ahead and get the metal worker down here. He pops the fetch and pays for a brainstorm. So now I'm up against only a Force of Will. No, not Spell Pierce, but no Mana Drain or anything like that. This is that mono build that the Magic Eternal guys have been working on. So I knew from listening to Yawgmoth Soap Opera what I was kind of up against. Propagandas. I anticipated Energy Flux post-board. Both of those come up, not without its own bit of drama. So the metalworker's down to 1 land. Thorn of Amethyst in play. If I draw an artifact, I can land Triskelion. If I draw an Opal, I can get a Welder down. And Propaganda. But I feel okay. I got the Ancient Tomb. I have a metal worker. We'll get back to that here in a moment. I draw into Wormcoil. Huge draw. Not only do I get my 4 mana from the metal worker to go with the Ancient Tomb, he can't respond to it. And not only do, instead of a 4/4 that can blink, I get Wormcoil. Force the Wormcoil down. Go. Feeling pretty good. He hits his land drop. Hits Propaganda number 2. This is about to get really awkward. Okay. I've got 4 mana in hand. I got 4 mana to pitch the metal worker. And I go to declare attackers. You must pay 4. Reveal your cards. It wouldn't let me reveal to activate the metal worker. Yeah. I can't do it here because it just thinks that I want to attack with my metal worker. Even Cronin it seems like a glitch in Moto. I get pretty frustrated. I force down Triskelion so I can maintain board control if necessary. A land at a Jace is actually what happens. but I get pretty frustrated, and I shouldn't have. But I do feel after getting mana hosed, after making an epic misplay, that where I was once 2-0 and had high hopes of possibly bringing down a DE with my my crazy deck. It seems to be slipping away. Still can't attack. Yeah. Apologize for the rude abbreviations. But again, I should have won this turn. That past turn. Had I swung with the Worm Coil the first time, he'd be at 7. Swung with the Worm Coil again, plinked him with the Triskelion. At this point, the game should be over. And I was pretty frustrated. He hits a land drop. And then, I guess it can't be clean living. So, to get around the Thwart of Amethyst, I activate the Metalworker to pay for the mana cost for the Mana Crypt. In hindsight, I should have played the Revoker naming Jace. But I was just so ecstatic to be able to attack with the Worm Coil engine. Felt like I was pretty well ahead here anyway. And I was. So, I hit with the Worm Coil. He responds with the only thing he can do, which is Jace. He bounces a Worm Coil, which is irrelevant. It's the play to make. If I mess up, for whatever reason, I attack Jace. I don't think, whatever. I mean, you play it out to the end. But clearly, had that Mana Crypt come a turn later, I could have lost this game to that bug. Metalworker's been a quirky thing anyways, where you can't, select the cast and then tap to do it. I searched it on Gather. It's a mana ability. It doesn't have any errata that says play this ability like an instant, like Lion's Eye Diamond does. So I don't know why Metalworker works this way on Moto. But I filed the bug report, and then I swing with the Triskelion to the face, and bring home game 1, despite getting worked up quite a bit over a bug there. So start to calm down a little bit to this point, and on to game 2. Blue control. I don't remember how I boarded here. I probably boarded out the Chalices. I don't really like him on the draw so much. I probably brought in an extra Worm Coil. I probably left it at 1 duplicate. I don't think I boarded it out, but I don't think I boarded any extra in. Aware that he may be playing a Blight Seal. I forget what his kill condition was. So I was, I kept that in mind. And kind of like the earlier game here, at first glance, look up and only catching 1 land, but Vault and Crypt, if maybe a little loose, but if I can stick this stuff, I got a Welder, I got a Golem, I got the Worm Coil. It seems like a reasonable play. He leads into back to basics. I draw a Revoker, which, again, I've always kind of felt down on Revoker, but it really came through with me here at this daily event. Revoker comes down, naming them. Oh no, I do the Sphere first, and then strip away the island. So I don't know. Maybe I should have played Revoker. I think what it was is I was anticipating having this countered. Because what I really did want was the Revoker. I think that was my plan, truly was, to run out the Sphere, have it countered, play the strip mine of the opal. No, without the sphere of the opal's not online. I don't know. Maybe that was the wrong play. But I kind of felt like this would be countered. But it wasn't. So, pass the turn. This gets a little bit awkward on the other side. I kind of got hosed by a bug game one, but managed through it. Cronin lost a lot of mana crypt coin flips here. Clearly a disproportionate amount. So we both lose this one. I draw into the thorn, but I just bring the welder down. Again, I anticipate some sort of counter reaction from him. He does have mental misstep, but maybe he pulled it out, not expecting the welder. I don't know. It's possible. It's not something you see in every deck. If you didn't watch the other games thoroughly, you might not have noticed it. So again, he's on 2 fetches and a mana crypt. He lost his coin flip again last turn. I lost my coin flip again, so I guess it maybe wasn't as disproportionate as I thought it was. Ancient Tomb comes down. That's fine. I have Opal in line, so I just start playing the lockdown game. Don't attack with the welder, in case he responds to, he goes after it. He loses another coin flip. So he's lost 3 in a row. Together we've lost 5 in a row. Hits the land drop. My turn. I lose a coin flip. Wow. Being ahead on board, I didn't realize I was losing all mine as well. Hit the metalworker. The metalworker comes down. Again, I don't know. I feel like that revoker should be in play. But at the same rate now, I'm kind of, what's he going to, if he counters the metalworker, I'm just going to weld it back. In fact, it just gives me fuel. It just gets rid of my mana crypt, which at this point, our mana crypts are killing us. So, pass the turn. And he loses 4th flip. So collectively, we lost 7 coin flips in a row to mana crypt. So maybe he knew what he was doing, not countering the metalworker. Don't get me bait to get rid of my mana crypt. He fetches some, takes his life down a little bit lower, and it is, in fact, Jace to Mind Sculptor. He brainstorms with Jace, which is fine. I don't see any reason not to. Maybe he should have bounced the metalworker, but to what end there? It's not an answer. I lose another flip. We've lost 8 flips in a row. My Ancient Tomb doesn't untap. I'm kind of happy not to have it untapped at this point, since I'm dying to mana crypt here. But I show my hand to the metalworker. He's under 2 spheres. He can't respond to anything I play. And finally, we revoke the Jace. So that might have been what I had in my mind all along. Looking at the mana crypt and thinking, save it for the Jace. That's possible. And maybe that's the right play. It worked. I don't know if it was the right play. He had plenty of mana, so maybe cut him off mana crypt in hindsight. Wasn't as big a deal as it seems to be watching this replay. Got him down. He's now under 3 sphere effects. The Welder online. Revoking his Jace. Feeling pretty darn comfortable here, despite, nearly dying to mana crypt, of which we've lost. I guess I won the last round, huh? He wins his flip, finally, but it's too late. 8 consecutive losses to the mana crypt. Wasteland hits the board. It's irrelevant. My land is tapped down anyway. He starts tapping. I get a little concerned. And it is... I don't even know what it was. What did he do? He did nothing. He tapped his mana and did nothing. So... Mana Crypt flip. Oh. There we go. Okay, one of my clan mates told me that this went a little odd. So, I am pretty certain that the way this went down was... Okay, so there's a glitch in the replay here. This game did not end in a draw. What he had tapped his mana out for was, in fact, an energy flux. Which is why you saw me activate the Metalworker in my upkeep. I actually made a misplay here. I stacked the Golem towards the top and paid for it and paid for the Revoker and intended to lose everything else. I let the Thorn go to the graveyard. Like, I forgot in there that I had activated the Mana Crypt. I could actually save 3 artifacts. So I let the Thorn go to the graveyard. I welded the Mana Crypt into the Thorn to protect my 2 guys from anything he might have had. I had forgotten that I'd already saved the Golem. So as I went through the stack, I saved the Revoker. I let the Sphere of Resistance go, then the Opal go, and the Metalworker, and then I looked at it, and the Mana Crypt was last. And I'm like, whoops. So I misplayed. I floated 2 mana at the end of my upkeep. I should have had a Sphere of Resistance in play. But that's how it went down. He had played the energy flux on me that I anticipated. But unfortunately for him, Metalworker, I had if I didn't have 2 artifacts in hand, if they'd been lands, that could have been really been a blowout. I guess I still would have been all right. I would have sacrificed the Revoker, stacked that so that it resolved first, let it go, Mana Crypted to pay for the Lodestone Golem, and then welded the Crypt back to the Revoker and named Jace, attacked for 5, left him at 1 with the Jace shut down, and then maybe beating him on a coin flip on his turn. So this game did not end in a draw. I won this game. Thanks to having a bunch of artifacts in hand and a little bit of luck. And on the side of both of us, each losing 4 coin flips, 8 in a row to Mana Crypt. But, it's a lot easier, in this matchup. If we both start at 8 life, that's way better for me than it was for him. And that's the way that panned out. And I ended up 3-1 in this daily event. Money in my first daily event, my first classic daily event, because I'm just never around when these things actually fire. I've played a couple Pauper and Legacy ones and not had a whole lot of luck. So nice to be playing something a little different. I know it's not original. These deck lists with Forge Master and Welder have been around the format for a little while, but I kind of feel like this one definitely had my kind of twist to it, and was kind of cool to money event with my idea and my thought process. In hindsight, for the first time ever, when I cut the 2 Revokers, I feel like they were better than they'd ever been. When all the times I've played with 4 Revokers, I feel like they've really underachieved for me. really happy with 2 spheres and not more. You know, I never found myself too badly stuck underneath my own sphere. You know, the Thorn of Amethyst isn't so bad. It doesn't hit too many things. Although it did catch up with me, I think, at one point where I couldn't cast a Crucible. But, like, really, the Thorn doesn't back you up near as bad as the spheres seem to. Preventing you from, you know, turn 1 Ancient Tomb Sphere, turn 2 City of Traders, and no Lodestone Golem. Whereas with the Thorn, that still works. Precursor Golem ended up coming in big right at the end of that Dredge matchup, but I don't know. I am concerned about its interaction with a lot of the artifact kill in this format. That Chain of Vaporing 1, Chain of Vapors all, that Ancient Grudging 1, Ancient Grudges all, Nature's Claiming, obviously doesn't seem so bad, but, you know, these things are all real, and not only that, but they end up getting my Lodestones too, which is called some return. Pretty happy with the 1 Metamorph. As big as the format is on 3 or 4, you know, I had it. You know, I had them in the board when I need them against Oath, but you know, a lot of times it can be a dead card. It's better to have the extra gas. As I mentioned, the Battlesphere. You know, Battlesphere is terrific against the Goldfish. You know, maybe in an actual Hate Bear matchup, but then you're facing down possibly Kitaki. Battlespheres seem to be the weak point here. I don't know what I'd do. Steel Hellkite's okay, but you don't have a lot of mana to generate. You know, a significant portion of the mana you generate is in workshops. So, you know, Steel Hellkite isn't always the answer. I'd been running the testing with the Sundering Titan. I like it a lot. It's a big blowout against the Gush decks. But it's really dead to a lot of things too. So I'm not sure what the next change is. You know, the Eon Hub didn't have a chance to shine. The duplicates, as always, you know, were huge. Hard casting Leyline of the Void was pretty awesome, I think. I probably lean towards a 3rd Tormod's Crypt. You know, without draw power, so to speak. I mean, the Forge Master exists, but that is a bit slow against Dredge. You know, the Chalices, you know, were never huge in the DE, but I think they're where they should be. I'm pretty satisfied with this list, and moving on with it. Razormane Mastercore is something to consider, but I kind of think the Triskelions are a little better. That may change if the Hate Bears list, one, becomes a little more prevalent, although it's pretty weak to the Illusions deck. And they start running the Silencing Stone, or whatever it is, in Innistrad, because it's a bargain null rod. That may change a lot of things that I'm doing here. Because suddenly Opal, you know, all my artifact accelerations turned off, my metalworkers turn off, the Forge Masters, the Triskelion is off. You know, maybe Razormane Mastercore would be a better response if Hate Bears go to that spell. Which I don't see why they wouldn't. You know, it doesn't interact incorrectly with their Kitaki. It's in their colors. It's cheap in their colors. So I suspect to see that in Hate Bear, and that may change our game plan against the Hate Bears, pulling the Triskelions in favor of Razormane Mastercores. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. It's been fun. I was happy to 3-1. Bring home a money performance for Clan Lotus Farmers. And happy to finally get to play in a Classic daily event. Yeah, I've been playing in the format now for several months through Classic Leagues, the last 2 Classic Leagues, and one and done in the Steel Cage match. But it was nice to be a part of the daily event, be a part of it firing, and even bring home some winnings from it. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being patient. I hope you've been here the whole time. Any constructive criticism, this is my first time recording. my first time really trying to describe my thoughts on my play style. A couple bugs. Kind of ironic that it was, a bug in the third game that almost tilted me, and then a bug at the end of the fourth game that couldn't show the end of the game. But anyway, thanks for your time. Hope you enjoyed. Feel free to leave any constructive criticism, even destructive criticism. Tell me what a moron I am for not playing around days. Yeah, I know. All right, thanks everybody, and hopefully I'll be doing this again before too long.